In the first World Cup in 1996, Sweden dominated Germany 6-1. Today, they meet again. Leading Germany into this year's World Cup, Caps goaltender Olaf Kolzig and San Jose Sharks forward Marco Sturm. Kolzig has led the Caps to the playoffs 3 of the last 4 years. Sturm, he's scored 20 or more goals in each of the last 3 seasons. Sweden, they are one of the elite hockey countries in the world. 7 world championships and 1 Olympic gold. Can Germany gain a measure of revenge, or will Sweden dominate again? Germany-Sweden next. Welcome to day 2 of the Toyota World Cup of Hockey. Over the next 14 days, you'll see some tremendous puck right here on the ESPN family of networks. Barry Melrose, the coach, David Amber, great to have you along. A double header today. Germany and Sweden about to drop in Stockholm as well tonight, Canada and USA.
Well, if you're a hockey fan, today is one of those golden moments for you, because right now we're going to see 3 of the best teams in the world, the 3 best teams. Sweden, who arguably is one of the best teams last Olympics. Canada did not want to play them twice. Belarus took care of them with a fluky goal. Canada, United States could easily be playing for the gold medal in 2 weeks. So as a hockey fan, enjoy today.
And the World Cup kicked off yesterday. Finland, a 4-0 win over the Czech Republic. Great goaltending from Mika Kiprasov. What kind of goaltending are we going to see tonight from Team USA?
Well, we didn't really have, we had a little bit of a goaltender controversy. We didn't know who was going to start for the Americans, but they've named Robert Esche the goaltender. Esche had a great season this year for Philadelphia. The Achilles heel of the American team is their young goaltenders. That doesn't mean they're not good. It just means they're untested. Esche had a great season for Philadelphia, tough place to play. DiPietro will be the backup. If Esche struggles, DiPietro will get a chance. Ty Conklin, the young goaltender, will only play if these 2 older, more veteran goaltenders, more experienced goaltenders fall on their face, which I don't think will happen for the Americans.
Barry, you talk about untested. Here's a pretty good test. Mario Lemieux in his hometown playing tonight in Montreal, and of course Jarome Iginla, he's pretty good as well.
We're seeing a transition period in the Canadian team. Canadians got some good veteran players, but they also got some great young players. I really think we're going to see Jarome Iginla this tournament accept the leadership mantle of the Canadian team from Mario Lemieux. Mario Lemieux accepted it from Wayne Gretzky. Now Lemieux, is this going to be his last tournament? Is this going to be his last hockey he's going to play? We don't know with the work stoppage coming up, but what we're going to see is Jarome Iginla, I think, one of the 2 best players in the world, accepting the mantle from Mario Lemieux.
Well, that will be the appetizer. And today, coming up right now, we've got Germany and Sweden coming your way next. The puck's ready to drop in Stockholm. Keep it locked right here on ESPN. Sweden and Germany, the puck's ready to drop in just a matter of moments in Stockholm. And this is going to be a tough battle when you have the likes of Forsberg, Naslund, Sundin, Alfredsson. What does Germany do? Well,
this is a little bit like Hans and Franz battling their idol, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Really, the Germans got to concentrate in defense, 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 and hopefully Kolzig will make about 50 saves this game, because they're going to have to. The Swedes got so much offensive firepower, so much great defensemen moving the puck, and solid goaltending. That is really Sweden's only Achilles heel. You look at the Germans, they got some NHL experience now. Kolzig is a great goaltender. That is a really ace in the hole. He gives them a chance, if they're great defensively, to keep this game close. That is really what the Germans are hoping for. Just respectability in this tournament, keeping the games close and being competitive.
And Barry calling the game today in Stockholm, JP Delacamera and Brian Engblom. Guys, let's take a look.
One of the reasons why Sweden is a favorite tonight and also in this tournament, Brian, they're loaded with NHL stars.
Are they ever? We're here in the Globe Arena, the largest spherical building in the world, and the Swedes are expected to skate circles around the German team. They're going to be led by Peter Forsberg, the man they call Foppa. Now, I don't know what the translation is in English. I don't think there really is one, but I think it's Elvis, because this guy is a rock star here, and he's had them all shook up since 1994 when they were in the Olympics, won the gold medal because of the goal that he scored. But the question mark, the Achilles heel for the Swedes has always been, who's going to be their goaltender here? Salo, Tellqvist, Lundqvist? The winner is Tommy Salo, because of the most experience that he has right now. He was excellent in '94 when he won the gold medal. He was the GOAT in 2002 at the Olympics. Which Tommy Salo are we going to see?
I'm not sure about that, but goaltending is certainly not the Achilles heel for Germany. In fact, if they're going to win tonight or steal games in this tournament, they'll start and goal with Olaf Kolzig.
Ole Kolzig, and the German team is hoping he had a really good nap this afternoon, because he knows the Swedes are going to be coming at him from all different angles. Ole Kolzig had a real tough year last year in Washington. In fact, the Capitals all had a tough year. But Kolzig was refreshed at the end of the year. He played in the World Championships for the Germans. Now he's building on that here again, and he's really encouraged because this team has the ability to score better than they have had in the past. Somebody does have to score some goals for them, though.
Stay with us tonight. We'll talk more about Peter Forsberg, and we'll come back and drop the puck as Sweden gets ready to take on Germany.
Just a matter of moments. It's the Swedes and Tommy Salo taking on the Germans and Olaf Kolzig. You don't want to miss a minute. World Cup of Hockey rolling on ESPN.
The World Cup of Hockey. We're getting ready for the face-off between Sweden and Germany. 8 teams in 15 days. Someone will claim the big trophy when it's all over on September 14th at the Air Canada Centre in Toronto. One other game going on later tonight. Canada versus the United States up in Montreal.
JP, this is terrific hockey. This is the best there is, I think, because these guys got a chance to get together for a couple of weeks and build some chemistry and really start from scratch. Yeah, it is the beginning of the year, and maybe they're not in top form. But if you compare this to the Olympics, where they have to go to the Olympic site and jump right into it, I think this scenario and this World Cup is better for hockey than even the Olympics. This is going to be outstanding stuff, folks.
NHL rules will apply tonight. The referees and the linesmen are all from the National Hockey League as we get ready for the face-off. Sweden in the yellow with blue trim. Germany is in black. Mats Sundin winning the draw. And now we're underway with Germany banging it off the near boards. Nicholas Lidstrom for Team Sweden will play to the right. Lead pass, far boards. Fredrik Modin on the chase. Seidenberg's after it for Germany. Cleared by Ludeman. Around to the near wing. Marco Sturm goes after it for Germany. To the point. Lidstrom kept it in. And now Germany will bank it off the boards, intended for Hecht.
This #1 line for Germany, everything rides on them. You've got Gotch, Hecht, and Sturm. These guys are the most talented players that they have on the German team. They're all NHL players, and they need to come through big for them in this tournament, or Germany's not going to go anywhere.
Sweden's line change. Forsberg's out there. He just got tagged. Zetterberg is also out there on that unit. Along the far side, Forsberg digs it free. Pulls in the forehand. Tried to center it out in front. And now it's deflected away by Germany to the near boards. They will start out with it, or try to. Intercept it is Forsberg. Wrist shot up high. Peter Forsberg with that chance. He got the loudest ovation during the opening introductions of the players. No surprise.
The man they call Foppa. He is a rock star here in Sweden. He gets a turnover just inside the blue line, and Lewandowski, number 34, comes back and just gets a stick on him at the right time. That was actually a really good play by Lewandowski, number 34 for the Germans. He came in right underneath the stick of Forsberg, and Forsberg never felt him until it was too late.
Germany starting out on the left side on the dump in. On the chase is Abstreiter. That's picked off. Jonsson. Left side, Johansson, who plays for Nashville. Around those boards, Jonsson. One of the few guys for Team Sweden that is playing still in Sweden. Tied up along those boards by Retzer. Also coming in there is Christian Ehrhoff. There'll be a face-off coming up to the left side of Olaf Kolzig. Quick line changes for these two teams at the start of the game.
In the World Cup competitions and in the Olympics, the German team has had to play extremely conservative. They do a lot of 1-4 stuff. In other words, they back up an awful lot and try to win by a close margin. They already talked about the #1 line for the Germans, who will be allowed to do what they can do and anything they can do offensively. But look for the rest of the German team to play extremely conservative, which means the Swedes want to have puck control and they want to be patient, but they can't sit back either.
Quick wrist shot is going to be denied as Germany looks for it. Overskating it was Ustorf. Snapped in by Marcus Nielsen around the boards. Hard check along that far side. A good hit there. Least. Nielsen flipping it into the corner. Ustorf is there. Centered in front. Quick shot tipped wide of Kolzig. On the chase, it comes around. Samuel Paulson couldn't get to it. Off a high stick. That one will go out of play. There'll be another face-off coming up. This one is scoreless.
A little bit of contact in that last play. And you know what? The Swedish players will be looking forward to that, too. I talked to some of the Swedes in the last couple of days, and they said in the pre-tournament games, it was just too quiet. There wasn't enough hitting. And some of the players I know, like Matthias Nordstrom, said to me, come on, we got to get into this thing and start getting some contact. Well, there was a little bit of contact there.
Leask on that hard challenge. He is from North York, Ontario, but is now a German citizen. Nordstrom will play it over. And now getting the return pass on the left side. Matthias Nordstrom's pass intended for Modin. The dump in. Mats Sundin, who captains his side, will flip it around the boards. Germany after it first. Gosh, 57 was closest, but overskates it. Battle for it there, poked into the corner behind Kolzig, who sticks it away. Sundin, the Toronto Maple Leaf star looking. Gosh will get it. Tried the breakout pass to the near wing side. Coming back though. Nordstrom to Ragnarsson. Germany breaks it up. They have two behind the net. Looking to center it out. Headed for Schubert. That's blocked. Spun around by Alfredsson, who plays it up to Modin. Modin from the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now the defending Stanley Cup champs. We've got a whistle on the icing call.
Pretty formidable groups of five that the Swedish team has put out there. You have Ragnarsson and Nordstrom out there with the Sundin line, and their abilities to control the puck at all levels. This Swedish team, it really looks like an all-star team, a world-class all-star team. We mentioned the fact that the Achilles heel for them, nobody knew what the goaltending situation was going to be. Tommy Salo is the man in the pipes tonight. He is starting. It doesn't necessarily mean that he'll go the entire tournament. I think it's certainly a wait-and-see situation, especially when they play again here tomorrow night against the Czechs.
Zetterberg to Sharnqvist. Right side, it's dumped in by Oland. Kolzig leaves it off. Schubert around the boards for Germany. Couldn't clear it out. Sweden looking. Left side behind the net. No wraparound there as Germany has that covered. Out at the point, Sharnqvist played it over. Naslund getting it back. Marcus Naslund looking to keep it in play. It's now out of the zone. Naslund got to stick to it. Got an interference penalty. First penalty of the game.
Well, you can see that the Swedes are the ones that are going to control the puck. And when you have guys as talented as Marcus Naslund, Zetterberg, Peter Forsberg all in one line, I mean, that's pretty spectacular stuff. Zetterberg's playing center. Zetterberg played with Forsberg during the World Cup last spring, and so he got a little bit of experience there. Marcus Naslund and Peter Forsberg are boyhood friends. From the age of 16 to 20, they went to school together and played together all the time, although it's been since 1993 that Naslund and Forsberg have played together extensively.
Zetterberg, Modin, and Alfredsson start off on this power play unit with Olin and Jonsson at the points as it's dumped into the zone. The interference penalty. Germany sits out a couple of minutes. Sweden's on the man advantage. Right side, Jonsson of the Philadelphia Flyers. Try to send it in for Alfredsson. He is in offside. Next face-off will come outside of the Germany zone. Daniel Alfredsson, the captain of the Ottawa Senators. A lot of captains on this team, but Sundin right now is the official Swedish captain.
Well, Daniel Alfredsson is funny, being from Ottawa and playing with Matt Sundin, who's from Toronto, arch rivals. And again, Alfredsson came out on the short end of the stick again this year in the playoffs in the National Hockey League. Having to play with Sundin again is kind of good news, bad news for him.
Along those boards, Sweden fighting. Forsberg is now out there. Holmstrom is also out there. Sweden's made a couple of changes out at the point.
4 forwards out there for Sweden. You got Marcus Naslund right now with the puck playing the point.
At the side, the flip in, and Germany will clear it out.
This is the way they practiced the power play yesterday and the day before. Nick Lidstrom's the guy on the point who quarterbacks everything. You can't get a better one in the world than him. Peter Forsberg will work down low, and Matt Sundin will be on the off wing looking for the big one-timer. Thomas Holmstrom sets up shop in front of the net, just like he does with the Red Wings.
Here comes the first shot, and it's tipped wide. Sundin delivered it. Into the corner, Marcus Naslund. What a powerful unit Sweden has out there right now. Naslund's shot deflected wide of Kolzig. Picked up by Sundin. Into the corner it goes. Forsberg. Holmstrom. Germany looking for it. To the point. Almost picked off. Kept in nicely. Lidstrom's pass. Naslund back to Lidstrom. The Red Wing star sends it and it's deflected away. Forsberg in the corner. Not much time remaining on this power play. Sweden haven't had many chances at all as Germany comes back on the off wing. The drop pass deflects right into the Sweden bench. Tonight, ESPN2's coverage of the Toyota World Cup of Hockey continues as two neighbor nations meet. Joe Sakic and Martin Brodeur leading Canada against Brett Hull. Mike Modano in the United States. That's tonight at 7 Eastern on ESPN2.
Marcus Naslund was back on the point in that last power play. He had the puck more than anybody else. It's early in the year here, so these guys are not quite in top form when it comes to creativity. That's the thing at training camp and at the beginning of a season that comes last. Guys have to get their game feel back, and so you won't see them quite as sharp maybe as they will a month and a half from now. Hopefully, if there's hockey being played in the NHL.
Hopefully. Kopitz had that penalty, and he has come out of the box for Germany. On the flip out by Boos. Flex back into the German zone. Gosh is on it, number 7, and he flips that out of play. It is scoreless here in the first period of the World Cup of Hockey.
ESPN's presentation of the Toyota World Cup of Hockey is brought to you by the Toyota Tundra Double Cab. Not just big, life-sized.
Welcome back to the Toyota World Cup of Hockey. Sweden in the yellow and blue, Germany in black. It is a scoreless opening period as Sweden will get it back. They were 0 for 1 on the power play without a shot. That Sundin shot that looked like the first one was just off net. Over the line, Marcus Nielsen holding. Shooting it in, but it was blocked into the corner. Germany looking to dig it out. Gotch will lead the rush. The dump in behind Tommy Salo. Flipping it around the boards. Nordstrom lays the check, allowing Paulson to get it back for Ragnarsson.
Well, for Ole Kolzig and for the German team in general, killing off that first power play is huge, because if they were to give up a goal early on and get the Swedes, getting their feel and feeling the flow, that's the last thing that they wanted to have happen. So they did a real decent job in killing off the power play situation for Daniel Alfredsson and the rest of the Swedish team. Again, they're just so very powerful that this guy and any of them, when they get the puck in a situation where they can give and go down low, which is what they were trying to do against the Germans, it's going to be a long night for Germany, but Germany did a nice job in that first PK.
Germany dumping it in off those boards. Olin trying to clear it. It comes back into the corner. Schonquist is after it. Deflects to the far wing side. Feichel has some help. Cycling down low. Peter Feichel around those boards. Germany looking behind the net. Sundin all over his man. Far boards. Ustorf to the near side. Picked up. Sweden will break it out of the zone, or at least try to. Germany will slow that down. There's an offside on that play. Germany will want to slow it down. That's what Ulf Dahlin, the assistant coach of Sweden, was telling us earlier today. A little holding, a little grabbing to try to slow Sweden down if they can.
The longer this game stays close, the better it is for the Germans, and the more pressure it puts on the Swedes to sit here and entertain the fans and to get themselves going offensively.
Behind the nets, Germany will try to play it to Sturm. The big line is out there for Germany. Gotch will lead it. Far side. He'll go after it with some help. Dug out by Sweden. Jonsson to his own blue line. Zetterberg joins in the rush. He's got wheels. Drops it off for Forsberg. Lead pass into the corner. Naslund to Zetterberg. In front. It hopped over a couple of sticks. Kept in play in the offensive zone by Sweden. Big shot saved by Kolzig. And picked up the other way by Hecht. Then Hecht's pass ahead. Leisk fires it in wide of Salo. Germany will pick it up behind Tommy Salo. Hecht plays it out left point area. Quick shot blocked in front. Gosh was over. They may have hit off him. Andreas Johansson leading the rush for Sweden as they change in the fly. Flip to the left wing boards. The chase for the puck. Johansson getting there. P.J. Axelson also out there. He plays for the Boston Bruins. Near boards. Germany will play it out. Booz with that check there in the far wing. He wears number 73 for Germany. The giveaway. Here's Johansson. Big shot from the circle. Skate save Kolzig. Deflects out of play. Tomorrow, ESPN and ESPN2 have more coverage of the Toyota World Cup of Hockey. First at 1 Eastern on ESPN, Jaromir Jagr, Milan Hajduk of the Czech Republic face Nicholas Lidstrom, Peter Forsberg, and Mats Sundin of Sweden. Then at 7 Eastern, coverage moves to ESPN2. Martin Brodeur, Joe Sakic, Jerome McGinley, and others leading Canada against Slovakia. The World Cup of Hockey Wednesday on ESPN at 1 Eastern and on ESPN2 at 7 Eastern.
The shots are 4-0 in favor of Sweden. Ole Kolzig looked really sharp on that last shot. Andreas Johansson coming down, taking a good hard low shot to the far side, and Ole showing real good reflexes with that left leg kicking it out.
Samuel Paulson in for the draw for Sweden, trying to draw it back with some help. It goes to Olin. Matthias Olin for a tip save. Kolzig off Holmstrom. Rebound cleared out by Germany. Schonquist has to chase it down. We're almost at the halfway point of this opening period as the World Cup of Hockey begins. On this side of the bracket anyway, on the Swedish side, they have 2 games here tonight and tomorrow. The icing call is made. Last night, first game was played. Finland beating the Czech Republic 4-0.
Yeah, apparently the Czechs didn't exactly show up for duty last night. The Finns really took it to them. This is right off the face-off. Some pretty good stuff from guess who? Holmstrom, who's so good in front of the net. I watched him in practice the other day. He looks in mid-season form, being able to tip pucks. He has extraordinary touch. Shots from the point. He knows how to take just a little off it, deflect it just a little, just deaden it a little, change the direction, and he did it right there. So Kolzig's going to have to be sharp when 96 is out there for Sweden.
Off the German dump in near boards. Pick up there. Off the check was Ustorf. Sending it around the opposite way. Martin Reichel, Robert's brother, one of 5 sets of brothers playing in this World Cup of Hockey. Sweden actually had the twin brothers Sedins, but they were scratched from tonight's lineup. Paulson. Now the dump in for Sweden. Kolzig behind the net. Wanted to leave it. Now clears it around the boards. Jonsson with the center line. Sweden controlling. Now the dump in intended for Mats Sundin. Sundin chased there, goes down. Has some help from Alfredsson. Daniel Alfredsson looking, lost the puck there. Modin is on it quickly for Sweden, left it for Sundin. Big shot went wide by Alfredsson. He had a good chance. Lidstrom keeps it at the left point. Around the boards it goes. Sundin's after it and picks it up. And Sundin checked there along the boards. Alfredsson works it. The puck still moving, no whistle yet. And now it's flipped around by Gosch of Germany. Back into the corner. Off a high flip. Off those boards. Hecht couldn't get it. Now he would have been offside. Brought back over the line by Sturm, and now Sundin tips for Modin. 60-footer is blocked, and Germany will clear it out. They may have a chance here with Hecht. Settles the rolling puck. Has Sturm with him. Takes the shot, saved by Salo, who cut down the angle.
Those are tough ones for Tommy Salo, too. I mean, he's had no shots, no action at all, and all of a sudden somebody's going to come down with a good shot, and that was an NHL quality guy coming down in Jochen Hecht, and he tried to go 5-hole on it.
Less than 8.5 minutes to go. Opening period. Zetterberg breaking in. Zetterberg couldn't get it on the forehand. Got in deep. Now is checked along those boards. 4 players battle for it there. Puck is still free and kicked at. So again, no whistles. They want to keep it moving. Germany can't clear it out of the zone.
That was Lewandowski, number 34 for the Germans, coming back again and making his second strong defensive play.
Zetterberg in. Played it across for Forsberg. Peter Forsberg trying to leave it off for Marcus Naslund. Vancouver Star played it out to the point. Ragnarsson up high over Kolzig. Behind the net, Sweden peppering. Kolzig stopped and reached back. That puck is still free somewhere now underneath the pile. Face-off coming up. It's still scoreless in the opening period. Face-off to the left side of Olaf Kolzig. Under 8 minutes to go. Opening period. Sweden out-shooting Germany. Right now outplaying them. But it's still scoreless up on the board here at the Globe Arena.
It might as well be a yellow puck because the guys in yellow have had it the entire time. You can watch the Germans in their own end. They keep counting. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's that 5th guy that's going to kill them, and sometimes they don't quite track them down. But so far, they've done a pretty decent job. But you can feel the Swedes are starting to come. They're starting to make better plays, starting to get full of themselves. So it's going to get that much more difficult for the Germans as it goes on.
Finally a whistle with 6 players battling in front of the Swedish bench. Fans everywhere can make a difference on September 7th by showing your spirit. It's simple. Wear your favorite team's apparel to work on September 7th. In exchange, each participant can make a donation of $5 or more to the V Foundation to benefit cancer research. Anyone can participate. Companies, schools, organizations, and individuals. Join ESPN and many other companies by declaring September 7th Show Your Spirit Day. For more details and to sign up, log on to www.jimmyv.org. In the German zone, Sweden battling along the boards, trying to get that puck free. It was Johansson, but Germany will take it free. Feichel plays it forward. Germany is offside. They had a couple of skaters there. And finally, the whistle blows and the offside call. First period, got to give the edge to Sweden so far. They will change lines again. Holmstrom's back out there with Nielsen and Paulson. Jonsson on defense, along with Nicholas Lidstrom. You're watching the Toyota World Cup of Hockey here on ESPN. Sweden and Germany, opening period, the first game for each of these teams in this tournament. Here's Nielsen breaking in, forehand shot, save Kolzig with traffic in front, delayed penalty coming up here, and now the whistle blows. Perhaps interference there.
I think it's going to be on Holmstrom. Holmstrom went to the net hard like he always does. He felt like he was being interfered with by the German defenseman. But it ends up being Thomas Holmstrom that'll go into the penalty box, I believe, for interference on the goaltender, Ole Kolzig. So the Germans will have a chance for the first time to maybe handle the puck a little bit in this game. And it'll be their #1 line that will come out and try to get something going for them. Sturm, Gotch, and Jochen Hecht will come out there and try to do it. Watch on the far side of the screen as number 96 in yellow will go to the net. And in the collision, you could see the argument from both sides. And Holmstrom is an expert at it. He knows how to make it look like the guy pushed him in. The bottom line is the referee didn't think so, so it's penalty on Sweden.
13-11 the time of the interference against the goaltender. Holmstrom sits. Zyderberg plays it across. Big shot there, went wide of Tommy Salo. The deflection in front of the Swedish bench. Germany will keep it in, and now Sweden will dump it down ice to relieve some of the pressure.
And there is some pressure certainly in this situation for the Swedes right now, because they can't afford to go down 1-0 in this game. They do have to kill a penalty, and there is some skill certainly on this German team. So for them to sit back or make a mistake now, trying to kill this penalty would give Germans some huge life.
DJ Axelsson played it back. Sweden looking to kill some more time. Back to Nordstrom, who plays it cross rink. Ragnarsson back to Nordstrom. Just over a minute to go on the man advantage for Germany. They'll make a change. Tino Boo's line comes out for Germany. Boos will drop it off. Germany gaining the center line, dumped in by Ehrhoff, who plays for San Jose. Along those boards it goes. Germany digging it out to the point. Backhand flip to the corner. Nordstrom looks to clear it past Schubert with help from Sundin, who carried it back in. Sweden looking for the puck.
Ehrhoff and Schubert back there on the point for the Germans. Ehrhoff plays for San Jose, as you mentioned. And Schubert was Ottawa's 5th choice in 2001. He plays in Binghamton in the American League.
Bad clearance in front. Ragnarsson, a second bad clearance, but Germany can't take advantage. It's out of the zone. Schubert will flip it over to the far side for Ehrhoff. He'll carry it into the Sweden zone. Ehrhoff bouncing off one check. Into the corner it goes. Zetterberg leaves it off. Nordstrom. Seconds left on the power play for Germany. They don't see the puck. Zetterberg carried it out. 2-on-2. Lead pass. It would have been offside. It's a delayed call. Germany with it. Germany will dump it in. Cut off by Olin. Far side kept in there. And now Sweden will take it over on the flip to Peter Forsberg. Right side, Zetterberg. Looking deep, puts on the brakes, trying to center it in front. Kolzig reaches back and stops the puck. Each team is at a power play. Neither team has scored in the opening period of play. Face off to the left side of Olaf Kolzig. It is scoreless in this opening period. Sweden and Germany. This is the Toyota World Cup of Hockey here on ESPN. Coming to you live from Stockholm, Sweden. Off the face-off, won by Sweden. Schornqvist kept it alive. Forsberg stopped there. Has some help. At the point, Naslund for Forsberg, who is there with Zetterberg. Forsberg trying to come out, double teamed, and Germany will take it over. And they'll dump it out. Olin's pass. Naslund, the Canucks scoring leader of the last 6 years, leaves it for Forsberg. Forsberg's broken up. Germany will bust out. 2-on-4, and a stumble there. We've lost sight of the player along those near boards. Just now getting up is Feichel, and he's slowly getting up.
Oh yeah, he got his bell rung there. He's going to have trouble finding the bench. That was Olin. Matthias Olin just buried Feichel along the boards.
With a delayed penalty coming up here, and now the whistle.
People here in Sweden and certainly back in North America are all wondering, what is Peter Forsberg going to do this coming season? I talked to Peter yesterday in front of a lot of other reporters, and I said, what have Pierre Lacroix and you talk about as far as, leading up to this season? Peter turned absolutely ice cold. He said, Pierre knows what I'm thinking. I will not talk about this. I mean, he just shut it right down. He doesn't want to be involved. The interesting thing is that Peter Forsberg is in the same situation as the Sedin twins in Vancouver. None of them is under contract right now. And what the Swedish Ice Hockey Federation is saying, that anybody who signs a deal here in Sweden after the 17th of September who is not on an NHL contract would have to play the entire season here in Sweden. So stay tuned. We still don't know what Forsberg is going to do, and everybody is still guessing, but there are some limitations and restrictions that could happen.
Sweden's on a power play with Abstrider. That's Holmstrom in front, and he gets the goal for Sweden.
Well, it finally proved costly for the Germans to take a penalty, and I'm not surprised at all that Holmstrom probably has been one of the most noticeable guys on the team, not because of his puck possession, but because of what he normally does. He always is in excellent position. He always is deflecting pucks, and he just knows where to go. They get it to Forsberg, who takes a look, and you can see the room that was created there for Holmstrom. You can never leave him alone in front of the net with more than one swipe at the puck, and I believe it was the second swipe that allowed him to shovel it past Ole Koldig's first goal of the game.
Abstrider was in the box, 2 minutes for another one of those interference penalties. So Sweden is up 1-0, just over 3 minutes to go in the opening period. Lidstrom fires, and Kolzig left that one off for Ehrhoff. Around those boards, Sweden will pick it off there behind the net. Johansson trying to flip it. He's taken down, no call. Axelsson, now some holding there. Now they've got to call it. Penalty is coming up again, this time on Schubert, as we throw back to the studio. David Amber and Barry Melrose.
Barry, just a matter of time before Sweden was going to score.
Well, obviously, the German coaches don't watch ESPN because we have Detroit on there 40 times a year, and Holmstrom stands there every power play and gets his rebounds. You don't pick him up. Huge goal for Sweden. Now they can attack. Germany can't play catch-up.
Germany's going to have to change their style and get some shots on goal. We'll have more in the intermission.
A shot on goal.
A shot on goal, exactly. Guys?
Schubert's in the penalty box as Alfredsson holds it. Second straight power play for Sweden. They're 1 for 2 tonight on the power play with 3 shots and 1 goal. Olin to Alfredsson, holding at the near circle. Side of the net, Zetterberg. Hit the slot. Modin's shot deflected up high by Kolzig. It pops back to Alfredsson. Alfredsson holds, top of the circle. Gets it a little deeper. Olin at the point. Far side, he'll get it back near side point, 60 feet away from goal. Matthias Olin holding it to Alfredsson in the off wing. Recorded towards Zetterberg. Alfredsson digs it out for Modin. It goes behind the net. Alfredsson swinging it free. Jonsson lost it. Look out here. Germany could have a breakaway. They do. Coming up. Quick shot, and it's all tied up. Marco Sturm. Shorthanded goal. Just on Germany's second shot. Well, if you make a mistake, Sturm with his speed makes you pay.
There was no way that they could catch him. He is one of the quickest players in the National Hockey League. Marco Sturm recovering from a broken leg and a dislocated ankle at the end of last year, but he just takes advantage of a hopping puck that got over Jonsson's stick. And when Jonsson, number 3 for Sweden, has to turn and go and catch the faster, quicker Marco Sturm, recovering broken leg or not, you're not going to do it, and he makes him pay.
It's good to see Sturm back flying on the ice. He was having his best season last year when he had to miss so many games. So it's 1-1 now. Sweden still in a power play for less than a minute. And there's less than 2 minutes now to go in the opening period. In the corner, Holmstrom, who scored that goal, lost it there, has some help. Sweden controlling the puck along those boards. Naslund around for Holmstrom. Back for Naslund. Hopped around those boards. Pinching in was Lidstrom. Now Forsberg lost it there. Cleared the other way. Salah's going to have to come out. Germany has a forechecker all the way in and nearly took that puck away.
It's really, really warm in this building. You can see the puck really start to slow down too, and I think handling it is a lot tougher than it was early on in the game.
Pass in front. Naslund circling. Takes it out of the right point. Just seconds left in the man advantage for Team Sweden. Lidstrom shot up high. Deflects to the corner. Naslund again. Lidstrom dead center from 60. Spinning is Naslund. Gets in at the circle, wristing it up high. Save Kolzig. Rebound. It's underneath them somewhere. And players get together, all tangled up. There'll be a face-off coming up, but first they have to separate these guys. We remind you that tonight ESPN2's coverage of the Toyota World Cup of Hockey continues as two neighbor nations meet. Joe Sakic, Martin Brodeur leading Canada against Fred Hull, Mike Modano in the United States tonight at 7 Eastern on ESPN2.
Oh, the people in Montreal are going to be going crazy. I know they have been all day and for days. Looking forward to the Canada-U.S. matchup that you'll see later on tonight. Outstanding stuff. Arch rivalry between Canada and the U.S. Great. And things are starting to get heated up here in this game, too, as you can see how the play ended. And Sundin got in there, as well as everybody else from the German team trying to fall back and help out Ole Kolzig. It's a good thing Ole's about 6'4.5" because he used those long legs to help cover up that play down low.
Back to 5-on-5 hockey as Germany not only killed off that last Sweden power play, but Marco Sturm scored shorthanded. Behind the net. Nordstrom moving the puck free. Flipping it right boards, and that's going to go on the two-line pass with just under 40 seconds left in this opening period. Well, for all the puck handling, for all of the offense that Sweden has showed, it's just a 1-1 game now.
Yeah, and you know, Sweden's done what we expected, and the Germans have really done what we've expected too. They sat back and they tried to do a good job defensively. They got the only one good break they got was on that shorthanded goal. They had one other decent scoring chance from Jochen Hecht coming in off the wing, but he wasn't really expected to score on that occasion. So really nothing surprising in this first period, and the Germans are extremely happy, I'm sure, to be tied 1-1.
Out of the point, quick shot, Kolzig. Not even sure how he saw that with the traffic in front, but he gloves it and holds on to be another face-off coming up with seconds left in this opening period of play.
What a pair of guys on the defense there. Marcus Ragnarsson and Mattias Nordstrom. Just a bang pair that you could play against anybody in any situation. They will kill penalties for the Swedes, and don't underestimate their offensive abilities too. They aren't on their teams in the NHL out in offensive situations very often, but they can fire the puck too.
We may have another interference penalty on Modin backing into Olaf Kolzig. Finally the whistle. Another interference on Modin backing into Olaf Kolzig. So Sweden go to the box one more time. They have outshot Germany 15-2 in this period. Germany's power play is 0 for 1 so far.
Yeah, Freddie Modin takes a few too many liberties there. He tries to make it look like Kolzig's mugging him. I'm not sure who's doing what. How about Freddie Modin and the Tampa Bay Lightning winning the Stanley Cup last year? Modin played every game in the regular season and in the playoffs. 105 games, not counting preseason games. Was he a little tired coming to camp here? Yeah, but he was in a pretty good mood, having had the Stanley Cup here in Sweden for a day or two as well.
Gotch tried to play it in front. A deflected puck and then a whistle. Ragnarsson brought the stick up. We've got officials all over there.
Well, I think Sweden would like to get a little bit more of this back. I talked about these two guys, and he and Nordstrom saying, you know, our pre-tournament games, and there was no hitting, there was no nothing going on. It's tough for these guys to play in the game when it's nothing but puck control. They want this kind of stuff. Look, Ragnarsson goes looking for it. Come on, hit me, do something. I want to be in the game here too. Yeah, I want to make passes. Yeah, take some shots, but this is hockey for me.
Kolzig was pulled at the end as it stopped there by Salo. So after one period of play, despite a big edge in shots by Sweden, it's 1-1 between Sweden and Germany.
Welcome to the Toyota Intermission Report. Barry Melrose, David Amber, and Marco Sturm.
That's Rambo.
Yeah, it's Rambo for me. Marco Sturm, the first German-born player ever to be drafted in the first round of the NHL draft. And he gets a 1-1 tie for Germany. What do you think?
Perfect period for Germany. They bend, but they didn't break. They got a lucky goal, which he needed. They only had 2 or 3 shots. 40-minute game. Now they'll go into the second period saying, let's do the same thing. Let's go into the third period, make it a 20-minute game. So Sweden should be worried because Germany's got a little bit of confidence now, and Kolzig looked good.
And Kolzig was very busy. I'll go by Rambo. Outshot 15-2. The Americans, the defending champs, the second part of our doubleheader here on ESPN. That tipping off at 7 o'clock, taking on Canada. The legacy for the Americans began back in 1980, the Miracle on Ice, and that's a legacy they're hoping to continue in the next 2 weeks.
It's obvious that 1980 would be the defining moment. I think what they achieved, and with the recent movie The Miracle, I think a lot of people have kind of relived it and maybe learned it for the first time, and not just heard about what happened.
That was a huge stepping stone for guys like myself growing up as a kid. I think that would pave the way for guys like myself and Dougie and other Americans our age.
No longer did your hero have to be Wayne Gretzky from Canada. You could have American heroes. Kids realized that we can play with the best. Our college kids went in and beat the best in the world.
The Europeans are probably the most skilled hockey players, but I think the heart and determination of Americans nowadays, you're seeing that many Americans in the National Hockey League through hard work and having a big heart.
It's odd because it's a sport where you play for 20 years and hopefully you make it to the NHL. And within 5 minutes, if you know the sport, you can tell if a guy's a European or a North American.
Team USA has won the World Cup.
I think that was another stepping stone for U.S. hockey, going up there and winning that World Cup. That was probably from 80 to 96. I mean, that's a lot of years, but that's some of the steps, unfortunately, you have to be patient to take to develop a lot of young hockey players. I think that's another situation like the 80 Olympics was.
It may not have been huge news here in the United States, but for our program and the kids that the population that we had following the game from the initial 1980 and the growth of 16 years, it was very important.
I don't care what anybody says, the best game in the world. I mean, to play it and to come to a game, I think that's the key. It's obviously tough for TV to watch it and learn it and understand it when people come to games and they fall in love with it.
We have to continue to be patient and to sell our game the right way. And I think enough people in the hockey world have a lot of respect for what we've achieved in '96 and, of course, the World Juniors this year.
And the United States has won the World Junior Hockey Championship for the first time in its history.
Nothing's going to compare to 1980 because nothing can unless we do that again, where every other team in the world is world players up to 25, 30 years old with experience and international experience and pro experience against these young college kids coming in just playing for each other. Is that going to happen again? Probably not, and that's why I don't think it's ever going to be reliable.
So, Barry, the Americans are the defending champions of the World Cup of Hockey. How has the state of hockey in the U.S. changed in the last 8 years?
Well, actually, the problem is that hasn't changed enough, because if you look at the faces from the '96 team and the faces on this team, a lot of them are the same players. That is the problem with the American system right now. They do not have a lot of great young players on their team. If you look at Canada, Joe McGinley, Cavalier, Richard, San Louis, these are all young stars on the Canadian team. The Americans can't say the same thing. The best news for the American program, they won the World Junior Championship. They've been very successful in under 16, under 17, under 18 programs against the rest of the world. So there are good young Americans coming up, but they do not have that great young player that's 24, 25, 26 like the Canadians do and like the Europeans do. Russians have Kovalchuk, they have Ovechkin. The Swedes have great young players. The Americans got to start bringing those young players into their program. Guys like Tim Connolly, that was supposed to be a superstar in the NHL, has not amounted to the player that he should have become. They've got DiPietro, they got Esch, they got some good young goaltenders, but they got to get some great young forwards. They got to get some great young defense to go with the Kachucks, to go with the Waits, to go with players like that. But again, they won the World Junior. That is huge for this program.
Barry, back in 1996, Brett Hull actually led the Americans in scoring. He had 11 points. Who do you expect to lead them this time around?
I think it's got to be the same group. I think it's got to be Modano. I think it's got to be Keith Tkachuk. Tons of pressure on the goaltenders. I've been talking about this before. The Americans have been blessed with Mike Richter for so many years. They knew they were going to get great goaltending. They knew they had world-class goaltending every time they played an international game. They do not have that luxury this year. It's up to Ash, DiPietro, Ty Conklin to become that goaltender. But this team is a veteran team. Again, we talked about it yesterday. They've had some injuries on defense with Hatcher, Leopold. Schneider's not on the team because he's not a signed player. Other young defensemen, other defensemen have to do the job. But this team is not as good as the team in '96 right now.
Well, we get to see all the great stars over the next 2 weeks. We hope we get to see them in October and November.
Yes,
the NHL and the NHLPA meeting today. We will obviously update the progress, if there was any, at these meetings a little bit later, of course, on the Toyota World Cup report. But tonight, the game we're all waiting for, Barry. U.S., the defending champs, taking on Canada, arguably the favorite. That'll be on ESPN2. The puck drops 7 Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific time. Well, Germany and Sweden is the game we're watching right now. Matt Sundin and the gang, and Peter Forsberg misses right there on Ole, the goalie. Here's what they got to do, though, the Swedes.
Well, that's where Holmstrom stands. You know that. You got to have a man on him. You can't leave him in front of the net alone with the goaltender. Rebounds cannot be given to that guy. Right here, Marco Sturm, by far the Germans' best player, gets rewarded with hard work and scores a shorthanded goal. So the script is right for Germany.
And Marco Sturm, of course, broke his leg in March, but I think he's healthy. We got a 1-1 game. Could be a shocker in Stockholm. Back to the Toyota World Cup of Hockey next.
ESPN's presentation of the Toyota World Cup of Hockey is brought to you by the Toyota Tundra Double Cab. Not just big, life-sized. And Samuel Adams. When you're ready for a distinctive brew, Samuel Adams, always a good decision.
Through 20 minutes in Stockholm, Sweden and Germany tied at 1. Barry Melrose, David Amber here in the ESPN studios. If you're the Swedish head coach, Hardy Nielsen, what are you telling your guys after 20 minutes, Barry?
Well, first off, stay away from the goaltender. They've already taken 2 hitting the goaltender penalties, goaltender interference, so they're looking for that. They know Holmstrom players like that, so stay away from Kolzig. Continue to play. You outshot them 15-2. If you do that 3 times, you got to think you're going to win the game. Don't become frustrated. Don't change what we're doing. It's working. But don't let this style of play the Germans are playing right now frustrate you and make you change.
And Germany, don't change a thing.
Germany's working right. Again, 2 shots each. That's 6 shots. By the end of the game, they could win the game.
Remember, they lost 6-1 the last 2 times these teams met, but right now it's 1-1 through 20 minutes. Send it back out to Stockholm. JP Telecamera, Brian Engblom with your second period coverage. World Cup of Hockey rolling on here on ESPN.
When this next period starts, Germany will still have 1:48 to go on the power play. They were outshot 15-3 in the first period, but they actually have a chance to take the lead here.
Absolutely. Germans are right where they want to be. They are even with Sweden. They chased them around a lot in the first period, but on the power play here, if they could get a lead, I mean, this would be a huge mental morale boost for them.
Zeidenberg will work the point with Ehrhoff. The #1 line is out there for Germany. Marco Sturm's unit. This puck over the line, and Team Sweden getting it back. Jonsson, a cross-ring pass. Sturm goes after it. Out of the zone. Zeidenberg comes back. Waits. Ehrhoff fires in behind Salo to the far boards. Off a deflection. Sweden capturing it. Jonsson nearly had that one picked off at the point. Stopped there by Kolzig.
Dennis Zeidenberg back on the point. Philadelphia organization in the National Hockey League. Excellent young prospect. Has shown some great things for the Flyers in his young career. They like to get the puck back to him here on this power play and give him a chance to handle it, make some plays, quarterback some things from the blue line, but not so successful early on here in the second.
Kolzig gave it away in front, and missing the net was Andreas Johansson. What a chance.
Johansson was all alone in front of the net there for a good 3 or 4 seconds, and Sweden just couldn't quite get the handle on it in time to get it out to him.
Germany still on the power play, yet to take advantage of this opportunity. Lewandowski dumps in from center. Kreutzer's on the chase, picked up by Sweden. Left side, Johansson. Cross rink feed, a bit too far. And back at center, Germany had it picked off. Lead pass, Alfredsson, shorthanded, big shot, pad save, Kolzig, rebound shot. Olaf Kolzig saved that one as well. 2 big stops there against the shorthanded Swedish side. Over the line now. Kreutzer dumps it in for Germany. Without a shot in this power play. In fact, Sweden probably had 3 shots the other way shorthanded. Here's Alfredsson. Modin came back on and offside as that penalty expired to Sweden, but Sweden was more dangerous that time shorthanded.
Yeah. Sweden had some really good jump here earlier in the second period. Ole Kolzig had to make 2 really good stops. Daniel Alfredsson came down and just ripped this shot. But look how calm and cool he is there. Yes, he kicked it out into the middle of the ice, but hey, you got to stop the puck first. And the Germans were napping a little bit there because they didn't have Johansson well enough covered. Johansson should never have gotten that second chance for Sweden. The Germans should have been tighter to him.
Backhand shot, and Sundin makes it 2-1 Sweden.
Goaltenders will always tell you that the backhand is the most difficult shot to pick up. And Matt Sundin is on his backhand. And this one goes through a little bit of traffic, and I think it just handcuffs Ole Kolzig. He doesn't quite know what angle it's coming from or the quickness with which it'll be delivered. Matt Sundin he knows exactly where the net is all the time. And he's given a little bit too much room. As he gets it, he shovels it towards the net. And when I mean shovel, I mean he used that body momentum, and he got a lot on that shot. And it was deflection off the leg or the stick of the German defenseman, too, in front of the net. So that certainly didn't help Ole Kolzig. Sundin got a little help there.
And Sweden gets the goal right after that penalty kill to take the 2-1 lead over Germany.
Matt Sundin is huge here, too. And he's from the Stockholm general area. In the National Hockey League last year, in third periods, Matt Sundin had more points in third periods than anybody else. And he comes through for the Swedish national team time and time again.
Averages over a point per game, and that's over 1,000 NHL games. The dump in now by Germany, trailing. Jonsson picks it up, taken down. Picked back up by Zetterberg. Drops it off there. Sweden on the move over their own blue line. Dump in from Lidstrom. Going around the board. Zetterberg's first man after it. Then the deflection from Forsberg with Naslund there. Peter Forsberg gets it. Naslund in front. Zetterberg tip wide of Kolzig. Zetterberg lost an edge there. Kreutzer picks it up. Germany 3-on-2. Flipped over on the left side. Quick shot. Abstreiter stopped there by Tommy Salo. Comes out with the puck. Plays it on the left side, and it's dumped over to center where Elisk intercepts.
Tommy Salo wants to keep himself in the game. He only had 3 shots against him in that first period. One of them was a goal in that breakaway by Sturm. So very aggressive was Tommy Salo there, making that save and moving it up. Looking at that big line for the Swedes is interesting too. See Zetterberg, Naslund, and Forsberg playing together. Zetterberg could be intimidated playing with his own guys because Forsberg and Naslund are some of the who's who of the entire world. But Zetterberg, I think, has an advantage because he plays on the Detroit Red Wings, and he's got about 9 or 10 guys who are going to be in the Hall of Fame playing with Shanahan's and Hulls and Yzermans and Chelios's. So I think that helps take the edge off for him and make the adjustment playing with Forsberg and Naslund.
Gosh was after it. It's flipped in front. Johansson was looking to sneak one in. Flipped around the boards. And Germany will play it out off the boards. Elisk will carry it. Across the line. Snaps it. Gloved by Tommy Salo. And he holds on to be a face-off coming up. Sweden leading by the score of 2-1. Matt Sundin with that last goal at 1:59 of the period. Both teams changing. Face-off coming up left side of Tommy Salo. And for the draw, Tino Boos for Germany. Deflects out towards the point. Kept in by Lewandowski. On the forehand, looking. Has some help there in front. Turnaround shot sticked away by Salo. Picked up along the boards. Holmstrom. He'll carry it to center and then dump it in. Behind Kolzig. In the corner it goes. 3 players battle for it. Sundin with a go-ahead goal. The assist going to Daniel Alfredsson. There'll be another face-off coming up.
You'd think Thomas Holmstrom was a local. He's been a local in front of Ole Kolzig, and he scored the first goal of the game. He and Matthias Olin actually are the 2 Swedes that live the farthest away from Stockholm. There are 9 players on the roster who basically live in the Stockholm area or at least close to Stockholm. But Holmstrom and Olin, Matthias Olin, live about an 8-hour car drive from here.
The Alfredsson shots turned away. Sundin will get it. Matt Sundin in the corner. Modin also on that line. Freddie Modin flips it. Sundin forehand comes out. Wanted to go backhand, but he was denied. Kreutzer will carry it out. Left side. Ustorf. Stefan Ustorf checked to the boards there by Jonsson. And now it's Team Sweden on the puck to center. Modin deflected by Kolzig. That shot handcuffed him. Out at the point. Ustorf is blocked. Kept in there. Alfredsson a high flip. Sundin will chase it. Matt Sundin flips it. Modin couldn't steer it home, and it's cleared out of the zone. Last touch by Martin Reichel. Icing is going to be the call. Faceoff goes back the other way.
Modin, Sundin, and Alfredsson get some pretty good chemistry going there. Modin played with Sundin for 3 years in Toronto. He was a Toronto Maple Leaf before he got traded to Tampa. And I said, how much did you actually play with Mats when you were there? And he said, about half the time. So he has a pretty good feel. And, it's amazing how much these pro athletes, things just come back so quickly. And then Daniel Alfredsson has actually played with Sundin a little bit in the NHL All-Star game. So a pretty good feel there for those 3 guys.
Imagine Modin if he wins the World Cup of Hockey trophy and a Stanley Cup within 3 months of each other.
Yeah. There's just a permanent smile still on the face of Freddie Modin. You can't blame him for that. He was terrific in the playoffs all the way through the finals.
Sweden looking to move it out. 4 players in the corner. Sweden come out with it. The flip by Axelsson. Jonsson checked there hard, but he's bouncing free. Jörgen Jonsson, former Islander, turns in front. Couldn't get the shot off. Johansson had it partially blocked. Jonsson again. Waits behind the net. Leaves it off. PJ Axelsson fighting off a check. Lays it there. Sweden cycling. Jonsson in the corner. A 2-1 Sweden lead. Matt Sundin with a go-ahead goal.
See the Germans playing a combination of zone, making sure there's one guy in front of the net, as they should, but then just counting Swedish players. The Swedes are rotating and cycling and trying to change things up, and the Germans are just trying to make sure they got everybody accounted for every time.
A long shot by Koplitz. Now a breakaway. Forsberg coming in. Delayed penalty as Kolzig made the stop. Delayed penalty on Germany. Another hard hit behind the net. Hello.
Peter Forsberg, yeah. Peter Forsberg is more aggressive with the puck than some guys are without it. And I think it's Schubert who's going to end up with a penalty against Forsberg.
Tomorrow, ESPN and ESPN2 has more coverage of the Toyota World Cup of Hockey. First at 1 Eastern on ESPN. Jager, Hayek, and the Czech Republic facing Lidstrom, Forsberg, and Sundin of Sweden. Then at 7 Eastern, our coverage moves to ESPN2. Team Canada versus Slovakia. The World Cup of Hockey Wednesday on ESPN at 1 Eastern. On ESPN2 at 7 Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPN.com.
So many times we see highlights where Peter Forsberg's involved. He's got the puck and he's just drilled somebody. That's what he did at the end of that last play. Love that stuff.
Penalty on Germany's Schubert. Sweden with Forsberg behind the net, looking, and the net was dislodged, so it'll be a face-off, but outside the zone.
Peter Forsberg may be the strongest guy I've ever seen with the puck in my entire life. I mean, he is just so difficult to knock off the puck. And interesting for Forsberg, too. He was over here, of course, you know, playing, and then he had skate problems. So he called the Bauer factory in Montreal on a Wednesday, last Wednesday, and said, I'll be there tomorrow. They went, huh? Sure enough, next day, Thursday, Forsberg is in Montreal at the Bauer factory. They pulled 3 guys off the line, spent several hours with them to get the skates right. By Saturday, he was on the same flight that I was from Chicago back here with 5 pairs of skates in his bag. There were no blades on him, and he said it was kind of funny when he went through customs from Canada to the U.S., the lady looked at the stuff and said, are you a wrestler? They looked like wrestling boots. I think maybe a better question would have been, will you have to wear those after your feet get better?
Peter Forsberg already with 1 assist tonight. 2-1 Sweden leading. They're on the power play. Just over a minute and a half left on it. Sticks get high in the corner. Naslund fights for it. Intercepted. Sturm's breakout pass. Jochen Hecht, former St. Louis Blue, trying to cut inside. Sundin swept it away, not out of the zone. Now Sweden will get it back, and they'll break out. Gaining that center line. Forsberg holds. Checked down hard by Kreutzer. Puck is free. Sweden collecting it, and now it's out of the zone.
I don't think Forsberg was expecting that little hit. I think he just expected to fade away there. Kreutzer did a really good job, and now is getting under the skin a little bit of Peter Forsberg.
Sweden leading 2-1. Peter Forsberg taking some punishment, but also dishing it out later, too.
He's always in the middle of things, no doubt, and he's just backing away, trying to create a little time and space, and just a good job there by Kreutzer. Just give him a little bit of a shove, and he turned the puck over.
Power play time still remaining here for Sweden, but Forsberg gets a bit of a breather. Kim Jonsson of the Flyers at the point with Mattias Olin, at least for now. Alfredsson dumped in from center. Modin, first man in the corner for Sweden. Others trying to help out. It's played out. Mattias Olin holding Modin now at the right point. Alfredsson in front, scores Sweden. Off a deflection in front. Looked like Jonsson came through.
This is just beautiful execution. Now you know that the players are starting to get a feel for things. And it was Kim Jonsson who came in from the point. He'll feel a lot better now because he's the one that had the puck jump over his stick for the shorthanded goal. Modin sees the play developing. He knew Jonsson wanted to come in from the point. So 33 yellow passed it down to 11 yellow, which was Alfredsson. And on the right side of the screen, there's Jonsson. The timing is perfect. The pass is perfect. And for Ole Kolzig said, hey, I got to give that one up. There's nothing I can do there.
Second power play goal for Sweden. Second assist on the night for Daniel Alfredsson. Sweden now with a 2-goal lead here in the second period. Dumped into the corner. Sweden back on it already. And now it's Feichel. Good to see him back after taking that hard hit from Olin in that last period. We weren't sure if we were going to see him back.
Yeah, he was pretty shaky when he got drilled by Olin in that first period. The Germans knew they couldn't take very many penalties in this game, and so many of them have been for clutching and grabbing and for trying to catch up to the Swedes, which you kind of knew was going to happen a little bit, but they can't keep taking penalties.
Germany trying to flip it out in front. The check made there. At the side by Ragnarsson. Puck still free now behind the net. Team Sweden will take it over. Dropped off there. Ragnarsson and Nordstrom, the two defensemen out there now for Sweden. Paulson just jumps over the boards now. Sweden tries to make a change. Dumped in. Kolzig lost it. Quick shot went wide. No angle for Paulson. Luckily for Germany.
He had one shot at it, and you know what? Left-hand shot on the right wing side. Paulson had a chance. He just missed it. He had all of 1 second to get rid of it. But Ole Kolzig with a big-time miscue there. He's got to be really happy that one didn't backfire on him.
There's a break in the action. It's 3-1 in favor of Sweden here in the second period. Marco Sturm plays it up for Jochen Hecht. Sweden leads Germany 3-1 here in the second period. We're watching the Toyota World Cup of Hockey on ESPN with Brian Engblom. I'm JP Della Camera. Thanks for joining us tonight as Sweden carries over the line. Mats Sundin on the chase. He has 1 goal tonight for Sweden. Flipped over. And that one's blocked. Least will pick it up. Takes the hit. Delayed offside. Sweden moves the puck free. Lead pass intended for Sundin. Too far. Kolzig out of the net. Germany back with it. Hecht on a high flip over the center line. A bouncing puck. Settled now by Sweden. Up for Marcus Naslund. Looking for Forsberg or Zetterberg. It's off Zetterberg's stick. And back the other way it'll go.
Peter Forsberg playing on the wing. Zetterberg's playing center. When you put Peter on the wing, he has left puck control time.
Tonight, ESPN2's coverage of the Toyota World Cup of Hockey continues as two neighbors meet. Joe Sakic, Martin Brodeur leading Canada against Brett Hall, Mike Modano in the United States. That's tonight at 7 Eastern on ESPN2. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. What a great rivalry. Canada winning the last Olympics in Salt Lake, and the USA winning that 1996 World Cup of Hockey.
And don't forget Mario Lemieux back on skates again. Thank goodness for that. We're so looking forward to seeing him play in this tournament and in the upcoming NHL season. When and if, we hope that's going to happen.
It will be nice to see Mario back out on skates.
Oh, yeah. One of the best ever, anywhere.
Over the line, Sweden lost it. Kolzig is going to cover it up and hang on. And now the bodies get together. Forsberg wasn't even involved in that little scrum. Face-off coming up. Sweden on top of Germany. 3-1 here in the second. The Toyota World Cup of Hockey continues here on ESPN. Sweden 3, Germany 1. As it's flipped up and out of play, the next face-off will come into the Germany zone. Tonight, a great hockey rivalry resumes as the USA meets Canada. Team USA's Tony Amonte describes it for us.
The Canadian fans just hate U.S. guys, and that's it. You know what I mean? They just, that's the bottom line, yelling and screaming. And it doesn't matter if you're playing in a street hockey game or playing an exhibition game in Ottawa or whatever it is. That both sides want to win. And we want to beat them every time we play them, and I'm sure they feel the same way about us. So there is a, you know, that's the biggest rivalry in sports right now.
And we look forward to that game later on tonight as Sweden has the puck and moves it ahead of the breakout pass. Axelsson taken away. Seidenberg had some help back there, but Germany did well to break up that rush.
At the very last second, they just got it done.
Kreutzer's over the line, played it in front. It was just too far in front. And now Sweden will come back with Axelsson.
That was Robert Least jumping up on the point from the Germans. He's a very talented guy. He scored 11 goals last year playing in the German league. Least is actually from Toronto, born and raised in Toronto, but has been playing in the German league for the last 8 years. When he jumps up on the play like that, if that pass was flat on the ice, the chances are he would have buried that.
In the Sweden zone deep, played out to Holmstrom, who has 1 goal tonight. Nilsson leaves it off. Played in front off the glove of Kolzig. Picked back up by Germany, and they'll play it off those boards. The long look was for Hecht.
When you play on a team like this, like Sweden has, and you're Thomas Holmstrom, you can really shine, because when you play on a great team, the game is actually simpler. You just have to do your own little job, and that's what he does so well.
In front, backhand foot, Nielsen! What a goal off the pass from Sundin!
Early in the game, the Swedes were forcing the feel a little bit. Now they're feeling the force, and they're really starting to make some plays. This was a beautiful backhand play. Watch number 13 right here. Gets the puck. He feels it. He hears it. He puts it on the tape, and there's no hesitation from Nielsen. Nielsen, who had a dream year almost last year for Calgary. He got traded from Florida to Calgary at the trading deadline, and he goes all the way to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals, but unfortunately comes up short by a couple of goals. The Calgary Flames lose. But for Marcus Nielsen, he played 109 games last year. 109. He had a heck of a long season. He was really tired. I talked to him. He said, you know what? I'm still a little bit mentally fatigued, but coming into this environment at World Cup, it gives me some more juice than it normally would if I was just going to training camp at Calgary right now.
83 regular season games, one more than most people play because of the trade deadline.
Yeah. By the time he got to Calgary, Calgary hadn't played as many games. So Marcus Nielsen plays 83 regular season games and I think 26 playoff games. Awesome.
Nielsen actually started that play, gets credit for the goal. Sunday in the assist at 11:51. Sweden scoring on 2 straight shots to really open up the lead here. Now it's 4-1. Germany are in a huge hole here. And this is only the second period. Bodies meet there in front of the Sweden bench. Zetterberg gets checked by Schubert. There's a penalty here. Maybe a little frustration. Trip was the signal just given.
Well, you know what? This is one of the things that Sweden wants to see from their team, because in past World Cups and in past World Championships, there have been times where the Swedes have been challenged physically and didn't respond well enough according to their critics here. Well, this time they come in, Schubert takes a run, Zetterberg gets a piece of him. The other players come in to protect him, and nothing big happens. But see, Schubert, number 13, Black, was coming across. Could have been a dangerous hit. But Zetterberg saw him coming at the last second. And then Daniel Alfredsson was against Schubert down low, trying to get some room, but was unable to find any on that last occasion.
You made a good point about the physical play, though, of Sweden. They made a conscious effort to not just have offensive stars on this team. They've got some grinders out there and some tough-hitting defensemen as well.
You know what? And I think that's why the Swedes and the Canadians are both favored in the over.
Oh, shades of the Belarus game. That's a long shot that beats Tommy Salo from Kreutzer.
Absolutely. I mean, this is not a scoring chance. This is not a scoring opportunity. This is just a shot on the rush by Kreutzer. And Tommy Salo just plain misplayed it. He gets the glove out. Salo was looking at it, looking at his glove a second ago. And it was deflected a little. It wasn't even on net.
Yeah.
He reaches for it. It goes right through the webbing and also sort of went backwards behind him. That one should never even been touched. It would have just gone off the glass and gone harmless. So harmlessly wide.
Meanwhile, Kozig stops it at this end. That's a shorthanded goal as the bodies get together. Kreutzer scoring shorthanded. He was inside the blue line, so nowhere near that long-distance 70-footer off a Belarus player in the last Olympics. But that's what people are still talking about here in Sweden, that long shot in the Belarus game. And no doubt we'll be reading about this tomorrow, depending on the score.
Will we ever? Ole Kozig was pretty funny in practice yesterday. He was talking about the fact that, you know, all his ancestors and his parents actually are German and were from Germany, but they moved because they were in the hotel business. So Ole Kozig was born in South Africa. And he said, my parents decided to give me German nationality instead of the South African nationality. And he said, I'm kind of glad of that because I didn't see South Africa doing real well in the World Cup of hockey.
No.
Great
sense of humor. Soccer, but not hockey.
Yeah, no kidding. Ole had really good sense of humor describing his background there. He said all his relatives live in Germany except for his parents and his brother. So he's got a lot of people back in Germany.
Meanwhile, Holmstrom just took a penalty, so it's 4-on-4 for a bit.
And this favors the Swedes heavily. You got extra room. There's only 4 guys on each side. The Germans don't want a lot of this.
Naslund has it blocked. Into the corner. Zetterberg battling there. Naslund comes in later. The battle continues in the corner. Least will chase it down. With Sturm out there in front of him. Headmans to Sturm. Flip pass intended for Heck. It's all of a sudden a 4-2 game. 2 shorthanded goals by the Germans tonight. Team Sweden on it, right circle. Strong skating strides of Alfredsson over the line. 3-on-3 over the line. Alfredsson played it over. Lidstrom towards Sundin. So Sturm is there. Sturm had the first Germany goal in that opening period, shorthanded. Played across to Ehrhoff from Zeidenberg.
That was a good play by Zeidenberg. He was patient. He didn't panic in the corner. He held on to the puck, and he made sure he made a good play to his teammate to get the puck out of the zone. Germany doesn't have enough of that from their other guys back on the blue line.
Germany will get their player out of the box soon in another 17 seconds. Big shot saved by Kolzig off Axelsson. PJ Axelsson after it has some help. Johansson out to Schornquist. And a stumble there as Germany will pick it back up. They have players breaking. Dumped in by Zeidenberg.
Germany was really lucky there. Ustorf had lost his stick, so it was basically 4-on-3.5, because the German player with no stick is only about half as good as he should be. You lose all your reach. All you can do is try to get body position. They were fortunate to get a turnover and get it down the ice.
The Schubert penalty did expire. Now there's just seconds left on the power play. Coming in, Lewandowski misses the net. Kept in by Gosh at the point. That one's blocked to the corner. Kreutzer played it over behind the net. Looking to center it out was Germany. Still might do it. The puck rolling behind the net. Dug out. Germany looking for a good shot, but it's swept to the near boards. And Sweden will take it back.
Boy, that's a big scoring chance really missed by the Germans. Lewandowski made 2 good defensive plays early in the game. He looked almost shy there. He was certainly shocked by the fact that he got that scoring chance and he missed the net.
Lewandowski just skated through his own crease. Here's the long shot by Schubert. Goes behind the net, flipped around the board. Sweden collecting it. An awkward pass there. Just over 4 minutes to go in this second period. A 4-2 Sweden lead. Down that left side. Johansson in front. Nielsen couldn't get to it. Down behind the net, Paulson trying to kick it free. Anaheim Mighty Duck Center plays it over on the right. And Germany looks to get it back. You're watching the Toyota World Cup of Hockey here on ESPN. Sweden in the yellow leading over Germany 4-2. In front, Paulson save by Kolzig behind the net for Modin. Check there behind the play. And now the whistle as it's underneath. It's a 4-2 lead for Sweden over Germany. 28-8, Sweden with a huge edge in shots, but of those 8 Germany shots, 2 were goals, both shorthanded. Sweden winning the draw. Janssen shot tipped in. Looks like Modin for Sweden.
Yeah, I think Freddie Modin's going to get credit for this one. Right off the face-off, when a big man goes to the net, if you don't play his stick hard, he's going to score goals like this. Good execution by the Swedes, nothing fancy, but it certainly counts. Execution on things like this early on in a year is good stuff, and that's just a shot from Kim Janssen, who keeps it low. He doesn't have a chance to get it set up and do what he wants to do because he bobbles it a little bit, so he just gets it through. Modin was going there. I think he will get credit for the goal, but Kolzig just couldn't handle it.
So Sweden have opened up that 3-goal lead again at 5-2, and they dump in and chase it with Modin after it. Germany got there first. Let's go to our studio. David Amber, Barry Melrose.
Well, Barry, so far the best player for Germany has been Tommy Salo. What's his confidence like right now?
It's not very good. Remember the last Olympic, he let in that soft goal against Belarus, lost the situation for Sweden, gives up that soft goal, shorthanded goal right there. So Tommy Salo's spirit right now is pretty weak, and he's not really the favorite person in Sweden right now. They hated him after the Olympics last year.
Sweden, though, still with a 3-goal lead. Of course, they have to take on the Czech Republic tomorrow. Guys?
Matt Sundin right now by our count with 1 goal and 2 assists leading the way as the team captain. Sweden right now with a 5-2 lead over Germany. The last goal went to Freddie Modin on the nice tip-in.
Yeah, and that's a big man. Freddie Modin going to the net the way he's supposed to just gets a stick on it. The German defenders have to get on the inside of a guy like that and just get in his pathway, because if you're on the backside, you're going to lose that battle.
The least shot was gloved by Tommy Salo. With your face off to the left side. Salo has not been busy tonight at all.
You know, I was looking at some of the history for the Germans, and I was surprised that they have such a long history in hockey. I mean, it goes back to the bandy game. Whoa! it goes back to the bandy game in the late 1800s. And then ice hockey really took over in the early 1900s. They had an arena built in Berlin in 1909. And then the Germans won a silver medal in the first ever European Championship way back in 1910. So I was really shocked when I read some of that stuff about the German history of hockey. And with the population in Germany being almost 90 million, they're the third largest country involved in this World Cup. You got the U.S., then the Russians, and then the Germans. There are a lot more really good players that are going to come out of Germany in the future, trust me.
Yeah, they started their pro league in 1994, 14 teams playing just a 52-game schedule. And most of their players are playing in the German league. They have the fewest NHLers on their roster of any of the teams right now in this World Cup of Hockey, of the 8 teams that there are.
Give them another 5 or 6 years and that'll certainly change.
In the corner, Schubert for Germany, pinning Sweden along those boards. Less than 2.5 to play in the second period. It's a 3-goal lead again for Sweden. Reichel's over the line with a flip in around the boards. Lewandowski check there. Making that check, Ustorf out at the right point. Big shot, Schubert deflected wide. Ustorf falling down. The puck is still free though. Schonquist over there defending. Lewandowski's pass. Germany holding it near boards. Ustorf check there along the boards. Dug out by Lewandowski. Trying to play it out to the point man Ehrhoff, and instead it goes between the two. And all the way down ice. And icing is the indication. And the touch by Ehrhoff. Tomorrow ESPN and ESPN2 have more coverage of the Toyota World Cup of Hockey at 1 Eastern on ESPN. The Czech Republic against Team Sweden right here from this very building. We'll see if the Czech Republic can rebound off last night's disaster. And at 7 Eastern, coverage moves to ESPN2. Team Canada versus Slovakia. The World Cup of Hockey Wednesday on ESPN at 1 Eastern as Salo makes that change. And then later, 7 Eastern on ESPN2.
Yeah, you were referring to that game last night where the Finns really took it to the Czechs. Don't underestimate those Finns, folks. I'm telling you, they got outstanding goaltending. That guy Kiprusoff from the Calgary Flames was brilliant. They have really solid defense for Finland. They don't have a lot of firepower up front, but they play such a solid game. I think you really got to keep an eye on that team from Finland.
4-0 win, limiting the Czech Republic to, can you believe, 12 shots total. In the corner, off that flip. Looking up there, Sweden with Jonsson. Axelsson leaves it out at the point. Flipped into the corner. Less than a minute to go. Second period. Sweden over Germany 5-2. The second day of World Cup hockey coverage. Johansson flipped it over the net.
That's the third good scoring chance in this game for Johansson. He's been left all alone in front on 3 different occasions. One time he couldn't get the puck soon enough. That one he was in pretty close, and Kolzig did a good job to shut him down, but Johansson is getting chances for Sweden.
And he's not really on one of the big scoring lines.
No.
Hard run there from Nilsson. Deflected wide by Kolzig. Second period coming to a close here. The bodies collide. Gosh leads the rush. Flipped over to the left side, right back in the middle. No shot there. Quick one in front, delayed penalty here as the bodies continue to bang near the end of the period. An interference penalty right at the very end.
There's Martin Reichel, and yes, he is the brother of Robert Reichel from the Toronto Maple Leafs, and who is currently playing for the Czech national team. One of 5 brother combinations that are in the World Cup this year, but the only one that play on different teams. Martin Reichel playing here for the Germans and Robert Reichel playing for the Czechs. A very interesting scenario, to say the least.
Friendly box door open, and Gosh was going to go in there. But right now, nobody's going in.
Yeah, seems to be some confusion to exactly what went on. Gosh takes it right through the middle. They get a good scoring chance there. Couldn't quite put it home. That was Martin Reichel on the backhand. Was certainly a decent chance. And now it is the Germans.
They're sending Lieskin instead. So another penalty at 19:51 of the second period. So Germany will be down here. Already down by 3 goals.
I'm looking for the Swedes, particularly on this power play now, to get their defensemen involved. The forwards have got pretty good feel for the puck. They're moving the puck around extremely well on the power play, but I think they're going to activate their D pretty much now.
Sweden with a wrister, and it's gloved by Kolzig. Quick whistle there.
That one seemed to drop a little bit there. It had kind of funny action on it. Freddie Modine can really shoot the puck. A couple of years ago at the All-Star break, I think he shot at 103 miles an hour. Well, that was just a quick wrist shot, and it seemed to have some action on it. Maybe it was going end over end. It was all Kolzig could do to make a save on that one.
That's it. As soon as they drop the puck, 5 different goal scorers for Sweden. What a night they're having. It is a 5-2 lead for Sweden over Germany after 2.
Welcome to the Toyota Intermission Report. Barry Melrose, David Amber, great to have you along. Sweden pouring in 4 goals in that period, really toying with the Germans. Is Sweden the best offensive team in this tournament?
Well, I think they're one of the 3 best teams in the tournament with Canada and the United States. The Swedes are tough enough to play against the North American players physically. Very few Europeans are. And don't forget, the Swedes have 3 NHL captains on their team: Sundin, Alfredsson, and Naslund. They don't give Europeans captaincies in the NHL unless they're a special leader. So they've got the leadership ability. Their only Achilles heel is their goaltending. Salo struggled in the last Olympics, and he hasn't looked great in this game. So the Swedes have all the weapons, but their goaltending is not as good as the Canadians.
Confidence really could be shattered for Tommy Salo. 2 bad goals.
Not a great goal
on just 9 shots. Now, when it comes to hockey, Canada and the United States, a not-so-friendly rivalry. The latest chapter going to be played out tonight on ESPN2. The puck drops at 7 o'clock. Gary Thorne, Bill Clement from Montreal with a preview.
There could not be a better place for the North American part of this World Cup of Hockey to take place in Montreal, Bill. As in Europe, they are as excited here as you could possibly be.
And obviously everybody here in Montreal is going to be revved up for Team Canada. To me, Team Canada has something that no other team in the tournament has, and that is Mario Lemieux and his presence. Nobody else can boast that. And when you put Mario Lemieux on a line with Joe Sakic and Jerome McGinley, I think they're going to be the dominant line of the tournament. So Canada, I think, is so deep. That's just one little piece of what they're going to offer.
For the U.S. team, one of the big questions that's been raised is goaltending. With Mike Richter now gone, the man who has stood them in world play for the number of years, he's not there. So who takes his place, and are they okay?
Robert Esche is going to take his place, and I think they're fine with Robert Esche as long as he's healthy. Remember, he had hip surgery in June, but as long as he's healthy, I still think he's one of the most underrated guys in the NHL, and he's only had a #1 job in Philadelphia for less than a year. The guy I really think has to step up, though, for Team USA is Mike Modano. He had a horrible year in Dallas. He can be the difference that could offset a guy like Mario Lemieux.
Everybody talking as though these are the 2 teams that you may see in the finals. You buy that?
I buy Canada in the finals. The Team USA is going to have to prove it to me, and starting tonight.
All right, we'll see whether or not they can do that. It's U.S.-Canada. Great way to start it. Montreal's a city. A packed house will be here for the game at the Bell Center.
All right, Gary and Bill, a very tough ticket to get indeed. Yesterday, Finland, they win at home in Helsinki. Today, Sweden on their way to winning at home in Stockholm. Any advantage tonight for Team Canada at home in Montreal?
Well, first off, I hope the guys aren't wearing those outfits that they had on right there in the interview on the game tonight. Home ice is going to be a big factor. It is a tough ticket to get in Canada. I had to get 2 tickets for my son. It's like pulling teeth up there. It is going to be a pro-Canadian crowd. They do want to see great games. They do want to see a really special battle tonight, a very physical, a very competitive battle, but they do want to see Canada win. That will be a huge factor. The Americans will play the hate card. You've heard Tony Amonte say how much Canadians hate the Americans. They will use that. No one's given us a chance. No one's thinking that we can repeat. So the Americans have a lot of motivation also. But home ice in this format, emotion is going to mean so much. Will be a big factor for Canada, and they'll use it to their advantage big time.
So, Barry, the U.S. begins defense of their World Cup championship tonight on ESPN2 at 7 o'clock Eastern. You don't want to miss a second of this one. U.S. and Canada. And really, it's going to be a fight to the finish from Montreal. 7 Eastern, the puck drops on ESPN2. Meanwhile, Sweden pours in 4 goals in the second period. No problem at all with Germany. A 5-2 lead. More from the Toyota World Cup of Hockey coming your way next. Another friendly reminder, Toyota World Cup of Hockey rolls on tonight on ESPN2. The defending champions, the US of A, taking on Team Canada in Montreal. You don't want to miss a second of it tonight on The Deuce. And in case you've missed any of the highlights from this game, Germany and Sweden, Matt Sundin and the gang, they're thinking championship. But Marco Sturm, early on, shorthanded, ties it at 1. And then Matt Sundin, so deadly with the backhand, Barry.
Well, that's a dying art. Not many people can even shoot a backhand that far in the NHL today. Matt certainly fired one from there. Great passing play right here. You see a little bit of a breakdown in front. Sundin, great vision again, backdoor to Nielsen. Sundin's having a very good game for the Swedes.
The other story here is Tommy Salo. In a word, miserable.
Bad, I think the word is, man. That was going to miss the net. Salo just wants a little bit of work. Hasn't even had 10 shots in this game.
Sweden with a 5-2 lead. Will Salo be out for the third? We'll have that answer with JP and Brian coming your way as the Toyota World Cup of Hockey rolls on from Stockholm, Sweden.
ESPN's presentation of the Toyota World Cup of Hockey is brought to you by the Toyota Tundra Double Cab. Not just big, life-sized. And the new Nike Air Max Shootout, only at Foot Locker. Do you think you could fill him?
Stockholm, we've got Leask for interference at the end of that second period. So a power play for Team Sweden with 1:51 to go on it, and a chance to really put this one away if they haven't done so already.
Yeah, I think the Swedes are feeling certainly very confident about themselves. They're just trying to go out there and execute and control the puck and do the things that they've been doing all night long. For the Germans, I think they really don't have much to lose. I mean, if they can get some puck control and try to take things back towards the Swedes once they kill off this penalty. Although they've had better luck killing penalties.
Yeah.
Both their goals have come short-handed when the Swedes have had a little bit of mental lapses. So, and of course, the second goal really was definitely all on Salo. I mean, the shot was wide and went off his glove. But Germany's got to get something going here and try to get some scoring chances because they really have nothing to lose. They're down by 3 goals.
5 different individuals have scored tonight for Sweden. A few guys with multiple point games. Sundin with a goal and 2 assists. Alfredsson a couple of assists. Holmstrom 1 goal, 1 assist as well.
You know, Matt Sundin, I don't think gets enough credit in the United States. He does in Canada and certainly in Toronto where he plays for the Leafs. But Sundin is just absolutely a brilliant player. And you know, in the 2003 World Championships for Sweden, he was the tournament MVP. Every time he plays in world-class situation, he shines, and he's already doing it here.
The Lidstrom's shot was deflected, and then the bodies get together again. That's Gosh, number 7, involved in that scrum.
For Matt Sundin, in the Canada Cup in '91 and in the World Cup in '96, he was the all-tournament team. He and Chris Chelios are the only remaining guys that have done that both times. And then for Sundin, in the '02 Olympics, he was the leading scorer in the tournament. And the '03 Worlds, as I said, he was a tournament MVP. So Matt Sundin is just a huge player in big situations everywhere and every time he plays.
Sundin played it across. Sweden on the puck on the power play. Working it around, looking for an open shooter. Sundin gave it up. Lidstrom's drive is wide of Kolzig. Flipped off the boards by Ehrhoff on the clearance by Germany, but it went into the seats on a play. There'll be a face-off coming up, and Sweden can take this opportunity to bring on some fresh legs.
Marcus Naslund was being pretty polite on this power play, and he has for most of them in the game tonight. He hasn't really pulled the trigger on the one-timers, which he can do certainly as well as anybody. He's been passing that up to make passes down low, and so therefore at this point Sweden is in that mode where they're always almost looking for the perfect play.
Zetterberg behind the net now takes it far boards. Looking out at the point, Kim Jonsson, who has 1 goal. Zetterberg into the corner with that pass. Brought out by Modin. Back at the side, Zetterberg stopped by Kolzig. There'll be another face-off coming up because Ole ties it up.
Good play coming out of the corner. I like that. Just basic stuff there from Zetterberg. The quick play down low and then walk it out to the front of the net. What that does is it makes the defenseman for Germany commit, and Ole Kolzig has to cover up on the short side, certainly, and it can open things up in the front of the net, but Kolzig is able to smother it that time.
Power play still on for Sweden. So much puck possession for them tonight, and the big edge in the shots on goal all night. In the corner, Zetterberg at the circle. Modin holds. Jonsson's free now. It's played over to Alfredsson. The one-timer blocked. Germany was looking to break out there. Remember, already 2 shorthanded goals. Penalty coming up here on Alfredsson, I believe, on that tug, and that is the call. ESPN is proud to offer coverage of all 19 games in this Toyota World Cup of Hockey tournament on our family of networks. This holiday weekend, 4 games will be broadcast live online during ESPN's free preview weekend at ESPNbroadband.com, including Canada-Russia on Saturday night. This will be the first of what will be many events and programs shown live on the broadband system. So log on and check it out, ESPNbroadband.com. That's Labor Day weekend, Friday, oh, I'm sorry, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Daniel Alfredsson had to take that penalty, and guess who that was that almost had another breakaway? Marco Sturm, who scored on a breakaway shorthanded in the first period to really give his team some life. So he's getting in the lanes, he's causing turnovers, and Alfredsson had to reach out and pull him back, or he might have done it all over again.
Least's penalty has just expired, so from 4-on-4 for a few seconds, it's now 5-on-4. Germany with the extra skater. Ragnarsson for a shorthanded Sweden side, dumping it in. Johansson will give it the chase. Kolzig out of the net for Ehrhoff. That's too far, but Sturm collects it in the skates.
Marco Sturm has been skating really well. When I talked to him yesterday, I mentioned the broken leg that he incurred last year. He missed the last 15 games of the regular season and the playoff for San Jose. Marco Sturm said the fracture was easy. I mean, you know, 6 weeks, that's healed. But he dislocated his ankle, and that really caused a lot of damage for him. It messed up the ligaments, etc. So Marcus Sturm wasn't even able to run or skate until 3 weeks ago. He said he's about 85% of where he'd like to be right now. But I'll tell you what, that 85% looks pretty darn good tonight.
Penalty's going to be called in the Sweden zone. So here was Germany with the extra skater, and that'll go by the boards as Heck goes off. 2 minutes for tripping at 2:38.
Jochen Heck has played a couple of Olympics for the German team. Remember, the Buffalo Sabres had an unfortunate start to the season last year. He broke his arm in training camp, and I think it was October the 4th. And so he had a while to come back, certainly, and get involved again. And he ended up playing very strongly, very well for Buffalo down the stretch. He's a very talented man.
52 points in just 64 games for Hecht. Up ice, Sweden, 4-on-4. Long shot, but it was blocked, and Sweden were offside. Just over 17 minutes to play in this hockey game, and Sweden is leading 5-2, looking to be tied at the top of the European pool with Finland, who won yesterday. Finland, Sweden, Germany, and the Czech Republic are in the European pool. You've got Canada and the USA, of course, Slovakia and Russia in the North American pool. Their games played in the United States and Minnesota, and in Toronto and Montreal up in Canada.
One of the things I'm going to be looking at throughout this World Cup is who's going to be one of the surprise stars. I mean, this is made up of stars on every team, but it seems to me in the World Cup in '96, if you go back to that, you know who really stuck out was Darian Hatcher. I mean, Darian Hatcher stepped up and played huge for the Team USA, and from that time on has become recognized as a big star player. And you go to the 2002 Winter Olympics, and for Canada, you know, so many star players, but Jerome McGinley, I mean, did a heck of a job. He scored 2 goals in the gold medal game. He scored key goals. He and Sakic had tremendous chemistry together. So maybe a bit of a surprise performance there. Who is it going to be in the World Cup this year who will come through with that extra sort of effort and that clutch performance from somebody other than the Mario Lemieux and the Sakics and the Brett Hulls and the, you know, Sundins, guys like that you expect to do it time and time again.
Marcus Naslund for Sweden on the man advantage. Into the corner goes Holmstrom with a goal and an assist already. Plays it along those boards. Kept it at the point by Lidstrom. Into the corner, Sweden holding. Out it goes again, Nicholas Lidstrom. At the circle, Sundin steered away by Kolzig. Holmstrom got a touch on it. Into the corner. 4 players are there, make it 5 now. Germany comes away with the puck and sent all the way off the glass the other end.
That was a good look at the one-timer there from Sundin. Sundin had lots of time and room. He didn't try to wire that. That was kind of the equivalent of getting up on the 4th tee after you're struggling with your driver and just trying to keep it in play. He just made sure that he got that shot on net and to see if anybody could get a tip. Smart play from Matt Sundin.
Kolzig will hold on to this puck and get a face-off coming up. Ole's been tested tonight for sure. He's a veteran, 96 World Cup of Hockey. He was there. 98 Olympics as well, a former Vezina Trophy winner for the Washington Capitals. Out at the point, kept in there by Sweden. The penalty's over on Germany, out in front. That's blocked. Hecht is back out on the ice, and the puck is cleared. Ragnarsson with Nordstrom on defense now for Sweden.
Good job by Zeidenberg. That was Zeidenberg in the middle of the ice, cutting that pass off. If it gets through, it's probably another Swedish goal.
Left side, Jonsson fires, try to go between the pads of Kolzig. Flip pass by Germany, kicked back by Sweden.
I've been impressed with Kolzig, the way he's handled those shots, and there have been quite a few in this game. He's a huge man. And when the Swedish players come down on a rush like that, they don't see much net. But it's the way Kolzig has moved. He's come out, he's confronted, and he's been very compact in his motion. He hasn't made it look spectacular. He comes out, it hits him, boom, and he sweeps it away.
Behind the net, that's Michael. Check off the puck. Off the near boards intended for Nielsen. That's stopped there by Schubert. 3 players near boards. Nielsen's breakout pass to Holmstrom. Neutral ice, his side for Sweden. Breakout pass over the line. Paulson looking, snaps it high wide of Kolzig. Near point, Sharnqvist battles to keep it in, and he does. Schubert has got it, plays it across rink for Germany. The flip-up ice intended for Heck. Bouncing puck controlled. Olin's pass. Nielsen checked there, right in front of the Germany bench. Picked up by Gosh, who laid it off. Gosh looks to get the return feed, then dumps it in. Into the corner. Sweden leaving it off. Paulson. 5-2 Sweden. They're making noise at the Globe Arena for one of the favorites in this tournament, Sweden. This is going to go for an icing call as the touch is made by Sasha Gosh. 5-2 Sweden over Germany here in this third period. Back to live action from the Globe Arena in Stockholm, Sweden, along with Brian Engblom. I'm JP Dellacamera. 5-2 Sweden leading, 13:40 to go. Opening game for both in this opening round. Round robin, all 4 teams in each group will advance. Then it becomes a knockout stage. Team 1 versus 4 in each group. And then once you get to that knockout stage, you lose one, your tournament's done. Players battle in the German corner, far boards. Flip free. Alfredson spinning. Dumps it. Modine. Try to leave it for Sundin, who's checked. Matt Sundin picks it back up. Fought off a couple of checkers. Germany will get it back and look to break out. Marco Sturm between both benches. Broken up there. Backtracking. Jansson's pass. Lidstrom. Flipped up towards Modine. A rolling puck. Germany will settle it.
Sundin's line has certainly been the most dominant and most noticeable. They have their production to show for it in this game. Sundin's got 3 points. Modine's got 2 points. Alfredson's got 1. But it's the way they play. I mean, when they get out there, the Germans are back on their heels. The Germans are worried, and they're trying to account for these guys all the time, and they just can't seem to corral them.
That last touch pass didn't work. A bit too fancy from Forsberg. Big shot. Lewandowski goes wide. On the chase. Off Nordstrom's stick. Shot from the point, deflected wide. That was a tipped shot. Salo stayed with it. In the corner. Kreutzer's there, along with 2 Swedes. Sweden had the edge there. They win the puck. Up ice. Naslund looking. Couldn't get the backhander off, then he did, and it's stopped by Olaf Kolzig. Let's go back to the studio. David has this Sam Adams tournament update.
That's right, JP. It is the Sam Adams tournament update. We begin, of course, yesterday with Finland, a 4-0 win over the Czech Republic to kick this tournament off. United States naming 42-year-old Chris Chelios their captain. Robert Esch will get the start in goal tonight as it's the USA, the defending World Cup champs, taking on Canada, 7 Eastern on ESPN2. That's your Sam Adams tournament update.
PJ Axelson is down on the ice. He was limping, trying to get back up, and is really struggling as he tries to go back to the bench.
You got that one right on the side of the ankle, I thought. The shot from Matthias Olin from the point. Yeah, Axelson in big trouble there.
Germany sends it in off the glove of Salo to the corner. Hard check there by Sweden. 4 players battle along the boards. Dug out. Johansson with a flip. A rolling puck towards Holmstrom. Couldn't get around Schubert. Germany are back with it. Michael's pass, cross rink. Germany didn't gain the center line as they try to dump in.
The shots are now 37-14 for Sweden, and that pretty much is indicative of the way the game has been played. Sweden's had the biscuit most of the time, and the Germans have been chasing them. But the Germans have scored 2 short-handed goals on a couple of unlucky plays and screw-ups by the Swedes. And speaking of the Swedes, I mean, you have to say that Tommy Salo has allowed 2 goals. He didn't look very good in either one. I know the first one was a breakaway, but I didn't think he played it very well. And then the other one was absolutely his fault. So the Swedes are facing a situation of playing on back-to-back nights here. They play the Czechs tomorrow. Oh.
Alfredsson taken down as he got the shot off some way, somehow. The crowd wanted a penalty. It's getting physical in Stockholm.
I don't think that Tommy Salo is certainly going to be in the nets tomorrow. I think you're going to see either Tellqvist or maybe even Lundqvist will come in. Salo has not played particularly well, but still his team is winning. But it'll be interesting to see the feedback tomorrow in the press about Tommy Salo's performance.
Seidenberg shot deflected over Salo. Al-Dalan told us today, the assistant coach of the team, that they have confidence in all three goalies, and they just gave Salo the edge because of experience, and maybe tomorrow they might decide experience didn't make a difference.
Well, Lundqvist is the one who is not dressed. He's the goaltender, the only one that plays in the Swedish league, and he is not used to the NHL ice surface. So there was good logic there from the Swedish coach's standpoint, saying, okay, we'll give him a little bit of a breather and let him watch a little bit, and then we'll see what happens with our other guys. So I don't know that that necessarily means we see Tellqvist tomorrow, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Big shot deflected wide of Salo. We'll have the answer to our question that we pose tomorrow night when Sweden takes on the Czech Republic.
And it'll be an upset Czech Republic team because they didn't show up to play.
No.
They played a lousy game against Finland last night, and Finland really cleaned their clock. So the Czechs are going to want to pick it up tomorrow against Sweden, and Sweden knows it.
Lewandowski out at the point. Seidenberg, a wrister, save. Salo doesn't see the rebound. He really had no idea where that one was. Cleared down ice. Icing is the indication as soon as it's touched by Seidenberg. Just over 9 minutes to play. 5-2. Sweden leads.
P.J. Axelsson was hurt on this last shift. He got a bad shot right off the top of the foot. Actually, it was from the German player. I thought it was from his own player, but he was really struggling, and I think we've seen the last of P.J. Axelsson for this game tonight. He's at the end of the bench right now, standing up, but I think he's waiting to go to the locker room. It doesn't seem like he can still put any weight on that foot.
Sweden leads over Germany 5-2, third period. Forsberg. Salo rolls it along. Nordstrom into the corner. Naslund. Cross ring pass. Sweden busts out. Intended for Zetterberg. That's going to be too far. Germany will get it back. Off a deflection wide of Kolzig. Zetterberg picks it up. Check to the boards there. Bounce free. Still has the puck. Great control on the forehand to Naslund. Marcus Naslund bringing it back. Near the point. And he's tripped by Feichel. No call. That draws the whistles, not from the referee, but from those fans in the stands as Forsberg takes it in. Forsberg thought about a wraparound, went forehand instead. Forsberg still has the puck. Kept in by Olin. And now Germany will just dump it out. Matthias Olin. Sweden tries to change. Alfredsson and others join. In front, intended for Alfredsson. That's wide. He couldn't get the tip. Johansson to Alfredsson. Off the deflection, Germany will get it back again and start out. Marco Sturm with one goal tonight. His was shorthanded. The other one was by Kreutzer. That too was shorthanded. That's all that Germany has this evening.
I really like the way Daniel Alfredsson works. I mean, he is a superstar player with tremendous skills, but he puts in a workman-like ethic all the time, and he really has in this game. That's really shone through for me. And it's Modin and Sundin that have cashed in his line mates, but he's done some terrific work down low and really had those legs moving all night.
Olin still has those legs moving too as he plays it out at the right point area. Schornquist kept it in. Gosh behind the net. Puck deflected, snap wide by Jonsson. He had an open opportunity. Matthias Olin kept it in. Jörgen Jonsson there broke it up. Speed ahead over the line. That's Hecht holding. It's deflected back. Off Gosh. Andreas Johansson on the off wing. Holds it. Waits for the help. In front, tipped. Kolzig got a piece.
That was Daniel Schornquist down there, and he's still down behind the net. He's a real surprise to me when I started looking at his stats for Sweden. He's played in 3 consecutive World Cups for the Swedish team, and in 2002, he was chosen the best defenseman of the World Championship tournament. Schornquist done a heck of a job.
Tonight, we remind you about our coverage continuing. ESPN2's coverage of the Toyota World Cup of Hockey. You'll see 2 strong nations meeting. Team Canada and Team USA tonight at 7 Eastern on ESPN2. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Chris Chelios just named captain of the USA squad, the oldest player in the tournament at 43. Kolzig stopping that shot from the point. There'll be a face-off coming up.
I want to go back to Sharnquist just for a moment. You see Nick Lidstrom, and everybody knows him, and he is a world-class player. But Daniel Sharnquist is certainly down the list of guys you would notice on this Swedish team. When I saw those stats, though, and saw that he had been chosen the best defenseman at the World Championships in 02, and also had a terrific year in 03 and 04 playing on this team. I mean, he has earned a place here. These players know that Daniel Sharnquist is a good, solid player and contributes in a very big way when he plays for Team Sweden.
Had a good year with the Thrashers. 5 goals. Had more goals than any other previous year. More points, too.
And it goes back to what I said before, JP, when you play on a great team like this and you play with great players, it's a simpler game. And if you just do your job, you don't have to be a star. So when a player like Sharnquist comes up, he can take advantage of the other skilled players he's playing with, do his job, and really shine and get more notoriety than on a team, Atlanta, a good young team, but obviously not the same kind of star power or ability to move the puck and make plays overall from top to bottom that this team does. So it's a different environment for Sharnquist. When he comes to this Team Sweden, he really shines. I like that.
Mattias Norrstrom will carry it to center. High flip it to the corner. Seidenberg's after it. Goes the other way. Alfredsson, first man on it against Feichel. Tapped off those boards. Bodies bang. Martin Reichel's over there, 22 for Germany. Goes free to the corner. Modine's after it. Germany will clear it out. 2-on-2 as they break, gaining the center line. Ustorp, check there to the corner. In the Sweden zone. Ustorp banged there along those boards, still working hard, but Sweden will come away with the puck. Modine.
Stefan Ustorp is a real experienced guy for the German team, and they need guys like that, obviously. He's played in 4 World Championships and 3 Olympics for the Germans. So Stefan Ustorp is a major contributor over years for this German national team.
Puck free behind Salo. There is Sharnquist. Johansson's over the line, the dump in. Gotch will take it, took the hit. Sasha Gotch. On the boards, the hit there on Jonsson. Gotch too far, picked off by Sharnquist. Neutralize his side, the flip over to Mattias Olin. Back to Sharnquist. Sweden changing up on the fly. Olin with it. Defensemen stay out there at least for now. Now they go to the bench for the change. Over the line. Forsberg in front, deflected wide, intended for Naslund. But the Kreutzer lands in the Germany bench. Under 4 minutes to play in the third period. Sweden leads by 3 goals. The Toyota World Cup of Hockey continues here on ESPN with Brian Engblom. I'm JP Dellacamera. Sweden has looked good tonight. A 5-2 lead over Germany. First game for each of these teams. Sweden is back in action tomorrow right here against the Czech Republic as they dump it in. Germany will take it back, and they try to break off the far boards. The lead pass, though, is too far. Going for an icing call. The touch is made. Next faceoff goes the other way. Tomorrow, ESPN and ESPN2 will have more coverage of the Toyota World Cup of Hockey. 1 Eastern, you'll see Jager Hadig of the Czech Republic facing Team Sweden, who you're watching tonight, led by Peter Forsberg. Then at 7 Eastern, coverage moves to ESPN2. Martin Brodeur, Team Canada versus Slovakia. World Cup of Hockey, more coverage tomorrow. Forsberg in front, wanted Zetterberg. Kolzig denies that. There'll be another face-off coming.
The Germans have spent so much time chasing the Swedes and so much time in their own zone, and when there's no goal scored like just now, they're almost content to say, okay, they didn't score on us then. When they do get the puck, their defense have not moved the puck. I'm talking to the Germans now, up to the forwards very much, especially for the big line. We talked about Hecht and Gotch and Sturm having to get some scoring chances, and they've been able to get extremely few on rushes. And if they don't get chances, there's just no way the Germans are going to overall be able to generate much offense.
Deflected puck goes to the corner. Michael check. Ustorp is there too. 2 Swedes defending. Lidstrom is in there. Nicholas Lidstrom, a 3-time Norris Trophy winner. That puck is still moving around those boards. Nichols in there. The puck goes free.
It's almost as if this line for Sweden, Zetterberg, Naslund, and Forsberg, I think the overall most skilled line, maybe in the entire tournament.
Yeah.
They just have sort of felt their way around. They tried to make nice plays, but they haven't really ramped it up yet. And I think probably, I mean, they're especially Forsberg and Naslund are experienced guys. They know what they got to play again tomorrow. So they're just trying to get some feel going. They know that the Sundin line has done the job for them tonight. They have enough points, so they're not really stepping it up and going ballistic yet.
Sturm with a shot, and Salo squeezes those pads together, holds on for a face-off with just over 2 minutes to play in this third period on a night that has belonged to Sweden, out shooting Germany 41-17.
Marco Sturm getting a little bit of time and space, trying to get somebody to go to the net, pulls the trigger. I mean, Sturm is a terrific player. 3 consecutive 20-plus goal seasons for Marco Sturm for the San Jose Sharks. And again, we talked about the injury already that devastated him at the end of the year. But good news for the Sharks fans. He looks like he's coming back great.
Germany back in the puck, leading a rush. Sweden defending, though, getting numbers back. Here's Sturm in front. Nice save, Salo. Maybe his best save of the night, robbing Hecht.
That was a terrific give and go by the 2 star players on the top line, and give and go between Sturm and Hecht, and a good redirection there that was very difficult for Salo to make a save on.
That clearance went out of play, so there'll be another face-off coming up. Sweden riding out a very good night for them. They've had the huge edge, so much puck possession, which we expected before the night. Alfredsson, another strong game.
Yeah.
The big edge in the shots. Their only weakness, giving up those 2 short-handed goals.
If you notice under the helmet there, if you watched in the playoffs last year, Daniel Alfredsson had a head of hair like you wouldn't believe last year in the playoffs. Well, he got married in July, and he said, I trimmed it, and I didn't like it, so I figured the heck with it. I shaved it all off. So he's basically right down to the wood now, folks.
Neutral ice, a bouncing puck. Germany's able to take it back. 2-on-1. Off Salo, and then a rebound. Goal, it's waved off. They're going to wave it off.
Boy, you know what? I thought he got a stick on that. That was Lewandowski, I believe. That.
Yeah, it might be a high stick, though. Yeah. That's what I was thinking at first.
I thought Atlanta, I'd have to see the replay on that. Really good save there by Tommy Salo on a terrific shot. But 34 will just go to the net. Watch this shot on net there. I mean, that's a zinger. Oh, he used his hand. Yeah. He used his left hand. I thought he got his stick on it.
So did I.
He must have panicked a little bit. This is kind of strange. I mean, because normally you just know, well, you know what he's trying to do. Now that I look at it there, he's trying to control the puck, put it down to his own stick, and then shoot it in. But inadvertently, he definitely used his hand and gloved it in. Good call there.
Look from a different angle. Nice shot, nice save initially. But there was a rebound.
That was Kreutzer, I believe, who pulled the trigger. I mean, he really zipped that shot, so it was all Salo could do to just stop it. He couldn't hold on to it.
Kreutzer and Sturm are the German goal scorers tonight, both short-handed. Olin with it. And now the dump off those boards, far side. Ehrhoff broken up. Sweden plays it out to the point, less than a minute to go. Schönquist's shot went high and wide. Germany looking to pick it up and move it out of the zone. They do at center ice, stopped by Matthias Olin. He fires it back in. Jörgen Jonsson overskated. Schönquist then has some help. Coming back was Jonsson. Schönquist from Lidström. Back to Nicholas Lidström. Less than a half minute to play. Andreas Johansson dumped it in. Ehrhoff around the boards. Puck still free there. Close to the Germany bench. Sweden digging it free. Johansson sends it back towards Kolzig. Into the corner it goes. Under 10 seconds left. Germany on the puck. Sweden's going to come away with a nice victory in their opening game of this World Cup of Hockey tournament. That's it.
This is pretty much what we expected to see. I mean, the Swedes got better as they went along. The first period, they felt their way through, got it going, made a couple of mistakes, but I mean, they pretty much dominated the Germans here. Their superstar lineup controlled the puck all night long and certainly scored more than enough goals to make it work.
5 different individuals scored tonight for Sweden. A few guys had multiple-point games. The only question might be tomorrow in goal against the Czech Republic.
And my guess is Salo does not come back and play tomorrow, but it's only a guess.
Join us tomorrow and see if that guess was right. Our final score tonight, Sweden with a victory 5-2 over Germany. Our coverage of the World Cup of Hockey continues later tonight on ESPN2. It is Canada versus the United States. Join us at 7 Eastern. Today's game has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Coming up next, NBA Inside Stuff as we go back to the studio. David Amber and Barry Melrose, guys.
All right, guys, so Sweden starts out strong, a 5-2 win over Germany. What's the mood in that dressing room right now?
Well, if I'm a Swedish coach, I'm happy the game's over with no injuries. I'm happy we won. But really, as a coach, you can't get much out of this game. You beat a team you're supposed to beat. You beat them handily. I didn't like the way Salo played, so that's got to be in the back of the coaching staff mind. They maybe give another goaltender a chance in the next game. But again, a game like this, you're just happy it's over. You're happy no one's got hurt. You beat a team you're supposed to. But overall, I don't think the Swedes are that happy with the way they played.
Barry, play coach for a second. Do you start Salo tomorrow, or do you start Tellqvist?
I didn't like Salo. I think he's got a lot in his mind from the Olympics. I think there's a lot of pressure on him to be the guy in Sweden. They want him to be the guy, but he didn't look sharp. That last shot right there, he didn't make the save. If that's a close game, that goal could easily went in. So I don't think the Swedes really feel that comfortable with Salo in net right now.
And Finland, of course, with a 4-0 win over the Czech Republic. They, too, have a perfect record so far in the European pool standings. Both teams now perfect 1-0. They'll be meeting later this week in Helsinki. Czech Republic and Germany, right now, both of them 0-1. And, of course, the big game we're all keeping an eye on, Canada and the United States, a game you're going to see on ESPN2 tonight. The puck drops at 7 Eastern. Barry, we'll be talking about this later tonight, but quickly, some thoughts on this.
Intensity, intensity, intensity. This game will be so great. The atmosphere in Montreal will be so spectacular. This game doesn't mean anything, you're right. It's all for seeding. But these two teams want to prove to each other they're the best. They want to set the tone. The Americans want their young goaltenders to play well. Canada wants to play a very solid, mean, nasty game against the Americans.
As Tony Amonte said, we don't like each other. They want to beat us. We want to beat them. Tonight, the puck drops in Montreal, 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2. We will see you there. Thanks for watching us here on the World Cup of Hockey. Barry Melrose, David Amber. Great to have you along.